What's up, y'all? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day on this beautiful sunny day. One of my favorite quotes by Abraham Lincoln is, "No man is has a good enough memory to be a successful liar." And I think there's a lot of truth to that because, as anyone knows, if you lie about something, it ain't just one lie. You know what I mean? Because then someone's gonna ask some like minute detail about the story. Then you gotta lie about that. You gotta lie about the lie. But there's layers and layers. No man is good enough to be a successful liar. You're always gonna get found out, and it's kind of like it brings me joy to know a liar is always gonna get sniffed out. Always, right? So I just learned, I don't know, maybe you guys know about this already, but I was listening to an audiobook about body language, and back in the early 1900s, there was a horse, and it was considered to be the smartest horse in the world. His name was Clever Hans. And y'all should look this up. It's a really interesting story, but long story short, this guy, he would take his horse around the countryside, and he would tell people, "My horse can do math," right? So what he would do is he would get a group of people together, and then he would ask Hans, the horse. He would turn to Hans and say, "Hey Hans, what's 5 plus 5?" And Hans would take his hoof and be like, "Oh, 1, 2, 3," until he got to 10. Right? That was just an example. And everyone would be like, "What?" And then he would tell Hans, 10 minus 3, 5 times 2, and Hans would stomp out the correct answer. So this guy, he took his horse, Clever Hans, past the countryside into the city, and he became a phenomenon nationally and internationally. So the people of Germany were like, "Nah, no horse knows math. This don't make sense." So the public demanded, "A, put this horse to trial." So the people in that area, they gathered doctors, scientists, veterinarians, researchers, all in a room. They put Hans in there, and basically, just to see if this horse really knew what he was talking about, they told the owner, because they were thinking maybe the owner was sending him some kind of signal or something. So they told the owner of the horse to get out of the room. So now it's just the horse in front of all these researchers. And they asked the horse, "What's 5 times 5?" Or whatever. "What's 7 times 3?" Right? And the horse stomped out the correct answer. And everyone was shocked. They asked him addition, subtraction, multiplication, things of that nature, and the horse got the answer right every single time. So the commission concluded the horse knows math. They told the local news outlets, the news reported the story, so on and so forth, right? But the public was not pleased. Or no. I should say the public didn't buy it. The public was like, "Nope, still don't believe it." So they commanded a second trial of this horse. So they brought even more researchers, more, veterinarians, doctors, scientists, all that stuff. They put them in a room. They put the horse in the room. But this time something was different. Before I go ahead and, tell you how this whole thing ended up, I'll just take a second to see if you can guess how the horse was answering these questions. All right, let's continue. So you got the horse in there with all the researchers. This time, though, they did not ask the question out loud. They whispered in the horse's ear, "Hey, what's 5 plus 3?" And the horse was standing there, dumbfounded, like a horse. No disrespect to horses. It just stood there looking at him like, okay. So basically, this is what the whole thing, what was happening. Like I said, this was an audiobook about body language. The horse, some way, somehow, picked up, non-verbal cues from humans. So what was happening was someone would say, hey horse, what's 5 plus 5? He would start stomping out his hoof, right? He'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's say he got to 9, right? The answer is what? The answer is 10, right? So let's say he got out to 9. 9. He started looking around the room. People were like, oh, like, you know what I mean? They weren't giving out, and they weren't saying anything, but their facial expressions, everything was given off. Keep going. Then he'd give the final answer. 10. Everyone would jump up. Oh my God, he did it. Wow, oh my God. And the horse was understanding these signals to where in the horse's mind, it was like, okay, that must be the right answer because these humans are jumping up and down and giving me oats. Long story short, it's an incredible story about body language. I mean, truthfully though, if a horse can figure out body language, this should, make you feel better about humans, right? As a human, you should be able to pick up body language too. But the power of body language is absolutely phenomenal. But overall, it just makes me feel happy that you can't fool all the people all the time. And generally speaking, the general public is not easily impressed and is definitely not easily fooled.